You felt it before, that quiet restlessness, that strange ache you can't locate. Life may be stable, even successful. You have a job, a relationship, a routine, but still, something inside you whispers, this isn't it. It's not sadness, not boredom, not even ambition. It's something deeper, a craving, not for more, but for something real, something essential, like your life is trying to become something, and you're not letting it. Most people ignore that feeling. They drown it in busyness, in achievement, in distraction. But I paid attention to it, and what I discovered changed my life and the way I understand human nature. I call it the drive for self-actualization. It's not a luxury. It's not a spiritual bonus round. It is a fundamental human need, the last and most sacred step in our psychological evolution. It is the urge to become what you are truly capable of becoming. Not what others expect, not what the world rewards, but you at your most honest, alive, and whole. Self-actualization is not about chasing perfection. It's about uncovering truth, the truth of your talents, your values, your inner compass. It is the natural unfolding of the self when all other basic needs have been sufficiently met. I've seen it in poets who never published a line, in carpenters who built with reverence, in mothers who raised their children with creativity and joy. Self-actualization has nothing to do with fame or wealth. It has everything to do with alignment. But here's the tragedy. Most people never reach it, not because they can't, but because they never realize it's a need. They stop climbing the ladder too soon. They mistake survival for success, comfort for purpose, approval for fulfillment, and that's where I come in. My life's work has been helping people name that quiet hunger and follow it, to show them that becoming fully oneself is not ego. It is the highest form of mental health, and it's available to anyone brave enough to ask, who am I really, and what am I here to become? If you felt that silent pull inside you, don't dismiss it. That's not noise. That's your life calling you to grow. Most people live their entire lives as someone else. They dress in roles, they speak in scripts, they pursue goals they never chose. And slowly, quietly, they forget who they were before the world told them who to be. This isn't because people are weak, it's because the world is loud. From the moment we're born, we are shaped by forces bigger than us. Families, cultures, schools, religions, economies. These systems have rules, and those rules are rarely designed to nurture individuality. They're built for survival, for order, for obedience, not for truth. And so, very early, we learn how to belong by becoming what's acceptable. We hide our curiosity, we suppress our intensity, we trade uniqueness for approval. We learn how to be good sons, good workers, good citizens, but not how to be ourselves. And eventually, we forget that becoming ourselves was even an option. By the time we reach adulthood, we may be successful by every social standard, but inwardly disconnected. We've achieved everything we were told would fulfill us: the job, the partner, the car, the house. But something's missing, something vital. That missing piece is you, the real you, the self that was never fully expressed, only shaped. You see, self-actualization can't happen if you're still performing someone else's identity. You can't grow into wholeness if you're still chasing safety through conformity. But conformity is addictive. It gives us what we think we need: security, belonging, structure. And so we build entire lives that look beautiful on the surface, but feel hollow underneath. The saddest part? We call that normal. People say, that's just life. They call their exhaustion maturity. They name their numbness responsibility. But I've met people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who still carry the ache of an unlived life, who wonder what would have happened if they'd followed their curiosity, not just their checklist. And that's why this work matters, because the truth is, the world does not reward authenticity, it rewards performance. And unless you consciously choose to reclaim your identity, the world will keep scripting your life for you. Self-actualization is not inevitable, it is earned. It requires the courage to be misunderstood, to lose approval, to ask dangerous questions like, what if the life I've built isn't the one I want? What if success isn't enough for me anymore? What if I'm meant for something deeper, something real? Most people never ask those questions, but the ones who do, they begin the most important journey of all, the journey back to themselves. People often misunderstand self-actualization. They imagine it as a final destination, a reward at the end of a perfect life, a mountaintop reserved for geniuses, saints, or spiritual masters. But they're wrong. Self-actualization isn't a luxury for the extraordinary. It's the birthright of the ordinary. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming yourself, fully, honestly, unapologetically. It doesn't happen in one leap. It happens slowly, like a flower opening. It begins when your basic needs, safety, love, belonging, stability, are met well enough that your energy can shift from survival to expression. You stop living just to get by, and you start living to become. But what does become really mean? To self-actualize means to align your life with your inner truth. It means your actions match your values. Your work reflects your gifts. Your relationships support your growth. There is a congruence, a coherence between your inner self and your outer world. Self-actualized people are not perfect. In fact, they're often deeply aware of their flaws, but they are whole. They are not divided against themselves. They have stopped pretending. They have made peace with who they are and who they are not. They're guided by inner principles, not external rewards. They choose meaning over image, truth over comfort, integrity over approval. They create not to impress, but because something inside them insists on expression, and yet they are humble. Self-actualized people have what I call peak humility. They know how small they are in the universe and how sacred it is to participate in life with awareness. They are grateful, not entitled, focused, not frantic. They are deeply curious, often unconventional, at times misunderstood, but always alive. And here's the paradox. The more they become themselves, the more they serve others. Because when you stop trying to fit in, you start to stand out in the best way. Your authenticity gives others permission to be real. Your courage to grow makes others braver. So self-actualization is not selfish. It's the most generous thing you can do with your life. Because a self-actualized person doesn't just live well, they elevate everyone around them. If becoming yourself were easy, we'd all be doing it. But the truth is, self-actualization is a radical act, and the road to it is lined with fear. The first and biggest barrier is safety. Not physical safety, but psychological safety. The safety to speak your truth. The safety to be different. The safety to fail. Most of us learned early that being fully ourselves was dangerous. We were punished for being too loud, too curious, too emotional, too sensitive. So we adapted. We hid the parts that made others uncomfortable. We shaped ourselves into someone acceptable. That strategy may have kept us safe, but it also kept us small. The second barrier is approval. We are wired for connection, and we fear losing it. So we perform. We play roles that win praise and protect us from judgment. But the more we depend on validation, the harder it becomes to tell who we are without it. To self-actualize, you must be willing to lose approval, including from people you love. That's not easy, but it's necessary. The third barrier is fear of failure. Becoming your true self means taking risks. It means making art that might be ignored, saying things that might be misunderstood, building things that might not work. But here's the irony. Not trying is the greater failure because the cost of safety is your soul. Another barrier is comfort. When you build a life that's good enough, the pressure to grow fades. You settle. You tell yourself, this is fine. I should be grateful. But growth never comes from comfort. It comes from tension, from that friction between who you are and who you're meant to be. Then there's shame, the quiet voice that says you're not enough, that you're too late, too flawed, too broken to bloom. But shame is a liar. It wants you stuck. It wants you silent. You don't have to be perfect to become yourself. You just have to be willing. These barriers are real, but so is the part of you that wants to rise. Every person I've ever studied or worked with had the same inner conflict, the fear of being seen versus the hunger to be whole. And the turning point always came when they chose wholeness, not once, but again and again and again. Because becoming yourself is not a single moment. It's 1,000 tiny rebellions against fear. You don't have to do it all at once. You just have to begin. I've spent much of my life trying to answer a single, deceptively simple question. What does it really mean to live fully? Not just to function, not just to succeed, but to truly be alive, to feel whole, awake, and real in your own skin. Again and again, I return to the same conclusion. Self-actualization isn't a luxury reserved for the few. It's a necessity for every human being and for the world itself. When people are disconnected from their true selves, they don't simply suffer internally. They distort everything around them. They seek control instead of connection, performance instead of presence, power instead of meaning. They chase things they don't even truly want, trying to fill a void they don't understand. They climb ladders they don't remember choosing. And somewhere deep inside, they feel that something essential is missing, even if they can't name it. That missing thing is often not another achievement, possession, or relationship. It's alignment. It's the painful dissonance between the life they're living and the life that wants to emerge from within them. And this dissonance, this quiet inner war, is what drives so much of our modern suffering. We've created societies that reward conformity, competition, and appearance while quietly punishing authenticity. From childhood, we're taught to behave, to fit in, to win approval, to meet expectations. We're rarely taught how to listen to our own inner voice, or even that we have one worth trusting. But you do, and it's still there. Self-actualization is not about becoming someone else or achieving some mythical, ideal version of yourself. It's about finally becoming you, fully, honestly, and without apology. It's about allowing the person you've always secretly been to step into the light, not the curated identity, not the version of you built for applause or safety, but the real one, the self that has been waiting beneath the noise and roles and masks. Becoming that self is not easy. It will likely cost you things, comfort, predictability, some people's approval. But what you gain is so much greater: wholeness, peace, clarity, and the deep sense that your life is actually yours. This is not a one-time transformation. It's a practice, a devotion, a slow, courageous unpeeling of everything that is not truly you. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's messy, Sometimes it means walking away from what looks successful in the eyes of the world. And yet, every step you take toward yourself, even the smallest one, matters more than any step you could take toward imitation or false belonging. The world does not need more perfect people. It needs more real people. People who are rooted. People who feel what they feel. People who live in integrity with their inner compass. People who speak the truth even when it shakes. People who love deeply, create freely, and lead without masks. That kind of person, a self-actualized person, is contagious. Their presence awakens others. Their courage liberates those around them. And that's the part many don't realize. Self-actualization isn't selfish. It's the most generous act you can commit. Because when you stop wasting your life pretending, you start living a life that offers something real. And in a world starving for meaning, that is a rare and powerful gift. You don't have to be a genius or a saint to begin. You don't need permission. You don't need a map. You only need the willingness to ask yourself honestly, who am I beneath all the layers? What do I know is true, but I've been afraid to live it? What wants to come alive in me if I stop holding it back? Don't wait for clarity to begin. Begin, and clarity will follow. Stop asking if you're ready. You won't feel ready. Do it anyway. Begin with small choices. More honesty in your relationships. More curiosity about your inner world. More courage in your expression. Follow the tug. Honor the whisper. Trust that there is a deeper intelligence inside you. One that doesn't chase, but becomes. One that doesn't strive to impress, but to align. The world is changing. We are living through a time of collapse and transformation. What it needs most is not more speed, more productivity, or more conformity, but more people willing to be fully themselves. That begins with you. You are not too late. You are not too lost. You are not too broken. You are unfinished, and that is a sacred thing. There is something inside you that has not yet been lived. Let it live. Now is the time. Not someday. Not when it's safe. Not when others approve. Now. Say yes and begin.